Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This time for a found footage film that I actually enjoy and had not had a chance to review until now, and that is Afflicted. Now, Afflicted came out, was it about 2014, 2013, somewhere around there. I think around 2014. Now, this was directed by these two guys, Derek Lee and Clif Prowse. They wrote it, they directed, and they're the stars of the film. And sadly, these guys have never worked again, which is too bad, because I thought this was one of the best of its genre. I really do feel that way. Because the people behind it, they made a movie that was fast-paced, that was with the limits of the style they were directing. They brought some exciting sequences. There's a couple times where, oh, that reminds me of what we will later see tenfold in Hardcore Henry. This was a nice little taste of it. And for a found footage type of movie, it has a little bit different of a story, where these two guys, they decide to go on a trip around the world, and they're actually going to film it, and they upload videos on a website. And Clif Prowse, this guy here with the red shirt, he's the guy who sets up the cameras, wants to film everything, and mainly wants to do it for his buddy, played by Derek Lee, who is our star of the film. Because I'm just going to, it'll be easier, I just call him by real name, Derek Lee. Derek, he has this thing called AVM, which is something in the brain where any minute now, the tissues and something could happen. He could die just like that. It's called AVM. I forget what AVM stands for, but he has it, and he doesn't want to just sit at his office behind the desk waiting to die ultimately. He wants to see the world. So him and his buddy, they go around, they start to have fun, spend over a weekend, and one day Derek, he goes in, he has this hot lady checking him out. Later his buddy Clif finds him bitten on the arm, and he's like, what the hell happened? He starts getting very tired. The son does not agree with him. He starts getting a lot hungry, stronger, faster, jump higher. You see where this is leading into. So I ask you, how many found footage films or films of this nature deal with vampirism? He turned to a vampire, but not typical vampire, because it's not you put a stake in your heart, you died. No, that doesn't work. You can't die. And if you don't feed, you go into this state, and then you become feral, where you can't think, you just need to kill and eat until you're satisfied with hunger, and then you snap out of it. That's an interesting idea. I can't think of, I'm sure there's a vampire film that's done that, but I can't think of it right now, where if you don't feed, you go into this feral primal state. I like that idea. That's a really cool, interesting idea. Because it gives us even more sympathy with the character, and then it doesn't become his fault. You know, he couldn't help it. Literally couldn't help it. And what I find funny, you know, all this stuff where people are like, oh, well, movies have to star more people who are not just a white guy. I don't give a shit who stars in a film as long as they're good. I bring it up because Derek Lee, he's Asian. He's the star of the film. So you would think all these people be, oh, yeah, here we go, here's a movie. Nope. This got zero reaction, zero box office, zero nothing, to the point it's been at least 5 years none of these guys have worked again. And it's bullshit. And I just find it funny they want to tout these initiatives, but here's a film that just so happens to star a guy who's Asian, And he's good. That's the thing. He does a great job. Makes you feel pity and for the guy. And he shows his emotions very well. He does I think, a fantastic job for a guy who's never been starred in a film before. Him and his buddy just did short films, where they show a little bit at the beginning, which I thought that was a nice touch to show that these guys have been friends forever. But like, this is a film that has likable characters, goes at a fast pace. When the action hits, it's very well done. Sometimes they have cameras on, like GoPro type of cameras. There's the excitement of the lead character when it's like, wow, I hit a piece of wall and it broke off, or wow. They do a test where he's running and he's outrunning the car that his buddy Clif is driving. And you just say, well, maybe there's some lapse of logic. Why he's so hesitant to go to a hospital because of the AVM and he wants to do this thing. And then ultimately when it gets too much, he tries to get some blood, bribe someone, that someone gets pissed. They try to steal an ambulance. They're not making the most rational decisions. Sometimes you get mad at that, sometimes you don't. Here I could sympathize with the characters. Because number one, you're not always going to do the smart thing. Number two, what the fuck are hospital going to do? Give him a Band-Aid? What the fuck they going to do? And plus, if they're testing him, and he goes feral, glad it's not in a fucking hospital with a lot of innocent people, so maybe this was for the better. And, there have been a couple films where it's a found footage type and people get superpowers, or like Chronicle, but that's literally like a superhero movie. Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, which some people liked that movie. I did not, because to me, a horror film where a person has these powers and then like they're stronger and so forth, and oh wow, and then things take a dark turn. I thought it was done better here. And there's some nice moments of humor, like his buddy's trying to look up stuff on the internet about vampirism, and he looks over and the lead guy does like he's pissed off at his buddy. There's some really good effects. Like, there's a moment later on where our lead does a test on how the sun reacts to his skin, and he puts his hand out, and like this piece of the skin eats away, and this piece eats away, and this piece eats away, and it's just like, it's like, ooh, shit. Like, for a low-budget film, that looked really good. And some like, oh fuck moments, which, getting more into spoilers starting now. There's a moment where he's gone feral. He had warned his buddy to leave even before. That's what I mean. Like this, there's moments where this film does stuff for the characters which makes me enjoy it more that other movies don't think of or they disregard. But to make our character still likable, he warns them, please, you gotta promise me, if this doesn't work, you leave me, okay? And his buddy's like, yeah. No, promise me. And his buddy Clif says, okay, yes, I will. Even later on, when he's in feral, he's trying to fight it. You need to go. His buddy doesn't listen because he wants to help his buddy, and things don't end up, and this guy in the red shirt, he dies. And again, I thought the film did the right job where it immediately went into him being sorry as he's woken up from it, and he's remorseful, and it showed that he had a great bond with his buddy, and he just takes a double-barrel shotgun, shoots himself in the head. And when it comes down, you see like the head open, really nice effect, and then he wakes up, and then it's sometime later, and he shows you the remains. In other words, the suicide was pointless. Even blowing his brains out is restructuring itself and healing itself. So he literally can't die. And then the rest of the film is Interpol and others. It's not an action film. There are a handful of moments, but those handful of moments are pretty good. Like there's him asleep in the daytime. He's jumping from the top floor all the way to the bottom, running. People are shooting at him. He's jumping over here, jumping over there. Again, it's a taste of what would you see in Hardcore Henry. And then later on, these soldiers with guns are fighting him, and he's tipped one, and the guy slides all the way back, and then they've shot him with enough holes, even though he has no gun. There's no reason to shoot him, so these guys are assholes. Or shoot him in the leg or something, but no, they ba. So because he's lost so much blood, he becomes feral again, and he's attacking these guys. He's ripping throats out. There's a guy come up the stairs. He gets him and tosses him. I agree with Fred Topol, Crave Online. Exciting, expertly done. I agree. And he tries to find the lady who bit him in the first place and have a one-on-one with her. Ultimately, she says, hey, you can't die. You have to feed. But you can choose who you feed. And that's another thing what I liked about it is the possibilities that I would love for this to have gotten a sequel. Because at the end, he's like, I can't see my family again. If you guys see this, because I'm assuming he's going to upload it. This is all that happened. This is what I have to do. I can't come home to you guys. And it ends with him getting a child molester. Or a child killer. I'm guessing child molester. Or both, child killer. She shows something to the guy, and you hear like a little girl screaming, no, no. And he's like, I'm going to do to you. I'm going to make you feel like you made that little girl feel. And steers the guy and fucks him up. I'm like, okay. So he could be like an anti-hero, like a vampire Punisher. I want to see that movie. I want to see that sequel. Now, you just stop it when the movie ends, because it's one of those things like throughout the end credits, it kind of, here's a little scene, then credits, here's a little scene, then credits, and it ends up with you finding out that his buddy is still alive, meaning because he's become feral and he has to feed, so he kills one or two people. Now, I don't know if you did a sequel, what would that lead to? Would it lead to them fighting each other? Will it lead to his buddy joining Derek and they both go on to do something? I don't know. I wish this had a commentary track so they could talk about it, but it only has a little behind the scenes, anatomy of a scene, the window jump, not much to it, features. I wish it had a commentary track. But these guys have disappeared, Clif, Prowse, and Derek Lee, and that's sad because they made a really good film. They made a film that, like I said, moves at a good pace, likable characters, especially a very likable lead. He's trying to do the best that he can. When a cop's fighting him, he's hanging off the ledge and he tries to pull him up and it doesn't work. There's another when he's regaining notice after slaughtering the SWAT team guys. He's washing his hands and he stands there and he just loses it for a little bit. Again, they keep us humanizing the lead. It's tragic. You feel pity for him. And this guy, he did a really good job. And like I said, in the first third, there's some nice bits of humor. Like when they're describing the trip they're going beyond, they show some old films, like an old wannabe martial arts film they try to make. And you show it's them, but much younger, so they've known each other for a long time. And like I said, the characters, the oh shit moments, like the suicide that doesn't work, and the bits of action sequences that are done. The fact that you're using this format to tell a vampire story, again, that's a bit different. It's not the typical haunted house, paranormal movie, or there's something in the woods, or that's usually the case. But they try to do something a little bit different. And the sad thing is they did a great job and it failed. It didn't fail as a bad movie. It failed in No one ever talks about it. These guys never got a job again. But yet the guy who made The Devil Inside, or as it's called, The Devil Inside My Ass, he got more jobs. And that's a horrible piece of shit. That got into theaters. That made over $100 million worldwide, The Devil Inside My Ass. People who made these paranormal fucktivity movies, they got more jobs, and those made money. But this film doesn't? Just pisses me off. Why does it piss you off? Because I want more movies like this, not 6 goddamn paranormal fucktivity movies. Why can't this have 2 or 3 movies? Because it's not just horror, it's a little bit of drama, a little bit of action. I think if you like, even if you hate found footage, this is well worth a look, because I think it does stuff a bit differently. And it doesn't end a downbeat everyone dies. It doesn't, like, it does different stuff. I wouldn't call it original, but it's more original than other fucking found footage films. And yeah, well, I didn't think it was scary or creepy, but I don't find many films to that nature. Yeah, I definitely think this is worth a look to anyone who's interested. But that's just me. So either way, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.